It's the Weekly Wrap with your host, broadcasting legend Bruce Wolf, and his trusty sidekick, comedian Tim Slagle. And now, without further ado, Bruce Wolf.
Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap, and I don't know what we're doing right now. Chris, you want to tell us? Okay.
Well, it's our holiday special.
Oh, there we go.
Jingle, jingle. This is where we have a little fun. We go through our Spotify gives a wrap every year. They tell you like what happened in your year on Spotify. So it's not wherever the show is heard, but it is Spotify, and it gives you like one lane of what's happening somewhere, right?
Okay.
So they go.
Taylor Swift got 1 billion streams in 2023.
I wanted to make some kind of like that's what like your typical hooker gets or something, and I was trying to think of a famous Mae West. Got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Your typical hooker gets French pox.
So what are we gonna find out here? What information are we gleaning?
Well, here's a newsflash: we did not get 1 billion streams.
Oh, okay.
First, as we go through, if you recall when we did this before, I have you guess. So, what was the most listened to episode this year? What episode do you think? Do you remember a topic maybe that may have been something that people were really interested in that might have brought more listeners in?
The one in which we talked about Trump. Is that okay?
The one 50 out of the 48 out of the 46 weeks so far. Yes,
yes.
I was thinking. I was thinking it was probably one of the episodes that we had MAGA versus Rhino.
Oh, there we go. I forgot about that shtickla.
Probably was. This is in the middle of the year sometime, but here it is. This is Trump was in the headline. So Trump Georgia indictment. Sometimes you have to shorten these to fit. So the U.S. Trump indictment BS. That's the indictment in Trump. Where Bruce actually agreed.
Who's KJP is an idiot?
That's cringe.
Oh, right. Okay, the press secretary.
You'll find when you call someone an idiot or something in these, you get more likes.
Oh yeah, it's important to do that. Swearing helps too.
Hashtag idiot. That's what we got to start doing that. Tagging all our posts with hashtag idiot.
Or do we think it was the Bears 63 title talk that lasted all of 40 seconds that was the most engaging?
Of course, I always mention the Bears of 63 because I am so antiquated. I mean, not even the 85 Bears who live, have the eternal flame under them because nothing has happened since then for the Bears. But I mean, to go back to 63 is really retro. Okay, well, that's great.
Reagan was president when the Bears won the last championship, aren't they? Wasn't he?
He was the president. It was his second term. Yes, the beginning of his second term.
There's got to be a joke there somewhere. I'll work on it.
Okay, 138% more than your average episode. That's great. Okay.
Talk about people. I'll tell you, people like calling people an idiot and talking about election lies or denial and things along those lines.
Okay. All right. Do they like when we proffer conspiracy theories? Because
they like my tin foil. It's the shiny foil attracts them to the episode.
We should call it the tin foil hat, and and we should do more conspiracy stuff. Well, somebody on Twitter the other day asked, what's the one controversial opinion that you have, that nobody else has, and I've mentioned this before, that I want to believe that Jussie Smollett was not guilty. So, I mean, that's as conspiratorial. I mean, and for somebody, I'm a MAGA guy. I'm not MAGA per se, but I voted for Trump. And I don't like Jussie Smollett, but for some reason, I want to believe he was set up. I don't know.
Yeah, he was.
There we go. There we go.
Did you see how quickly, by the way, here's a modern news story that that woman that tried to burn down Martin Luther King's birthplace.
Oh, really? I missed that one.
Yeah, that went out of the media really quick.
Not just tried to burn down. She was literally dousing gas on the house when a passerby caught her and called the police. He would have lit it up, but they didn't get to light it up.
Was he born in Atlanta or something? Where was he born? Memphis? Where was he born?
I'm thinking Memphis.
Memphis?
No,
Well,
no, that's where he died. That's
That's
where
where
he
he
died.
died. I thought it was.
I think it's around Atlanta. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but what was really interesting about that, it was headlines for like a minute until the picture of the suspect appeared.
Ah, I see.
And
Well, that's like this story that I just saw when we're recording this. They finally got a suspect in the murder of this Jewish woman who headed the synagogue in Detroit. Her name was Samantha Wall, and it took them 53 days to get a suspect. And I had to scroll down in this story in the Detroit News to see who the suspect is, and a lot of people thought it would be like some sort of Palestinian, that it was some kind of Israeli Hamas thing, but it seems to be something else. But let's put it this way: the suspect is not probably a member of her congregation, I would say. So anyway,
I'm not sure what that means. But...
whatever. It might be an Ethiopian Jew. I'm not sure, but there we go.
Same thing with the Martin Luther King house, and what I thought there that was an attempted Jussie.
Ah, okay.
They scrolled
right.
They scrolled through her social media, and she was a massive Trump hater and things along those lines.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. That's what they wanted. They wanted it was another. If you take out all the Jussies,
why would she be igniting?
She wanted to get away with it, and then
blame it on the MAGA. Okay.
Right.
And the other thing, gentlemen, she was a huge, which you don't find many of these, Kamala supporter.
Right, that's a rare bird indeed.
Well, made it easy to find her.
Yeah, okay, yeah, right.
Got to knock on 5 doors.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, on to the next thing.
Sure.
We talk about the show growing, more listeners. This one gives you what again, this is on Spotify, the growth for this year, which was in 2023, 72% of our listeners found us in 2023, which is a good thing.
Wow.
Does that mean that a lot of listeners left us in prior years, which is why you get such a large number in 2023 of finding us?
Yeah, we'll find that in 2024, won't we?
Where's bringing the negative?
These are very encouraging numbers to me.
All right, what's and here you go again with what was the first episode someone listened to? Let's do a guess on this as well. Remember, it usually has name or something off election.
So this is
someone was
the most first timers, the episode that attracted the most first timers. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Boy, we should run that one in the down week.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. All these episodes blur to me. I mean, you have to remember, and I'm in my dotage right now, and my birth seems like the day before yesterday. So episodes of this podcast are just one big blur. Yeah.
Episode aired in like I want to say late February, so you're not going to remember. But here it is.
Wow, Don Lemon story.
It's funny. I just saw a tweet about Don Lemon. He resurfaced. He apparently listens to Piers Morgan and Ben Shapiro. Can you imagine a born again conservative Don Lemon? I mean, that would be unbelievable.
He's got to find a job, doesn't he?
Yeah, I guess so.
Tiger Tampons, is that the sports team?
That's when Tiger slipped the tampon.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Call him a Nancy. And then, of course, Dominion Lies. You got to get in there. Those will always attract eyes.
Well, here's the thing. Did you see the
Tim
story
Foyle? There's the Tim Foyle again.
Yeah, there you go. I just saw the story the other day that there are tampons for men. Because men can have periods too. It wasn't a joke. Tim, you're always the one who's got to disabuse me of because I'm fooled every week by some kind of tweet. I thought the Kamala thing, where her husband didn't know the actual story of Hanukkah and he's Jewish, I thought that was a fake, but because I get fooled. But that was actually real. So yeah, tampons for men apparently.
There was a Tim. It was kind of a Tim Allen bit. is that women always say, well, if men had periods,
Right.
you'd understand. It's like, no, if men had periods, they'd be bragging about it. It'd be like, oh man,
Exactly.
oh man, am I cramping today?
Yeah, right.
Woo, woo.
Uh,
I've gone through 7 of those suckers.
yeah. Did you on that graphic that you just showed there, Chris? There was a topic: Roald Dahl versus Steve Dahl. I mean, what? How were those?
I think that was one of the
two
things you
used?
made one of your creative links to.
I can't even think what it was. That's such a tenuous nexus there. But okay.
Was there a song? Was there a song involved?
Let's see. The Nose
like-
Candy Man. I'm not sure. What?
Oompa Loompa song or something?
Okay.
I would think that I would think you would have tied Willy Wonka and Steve Dahl together.
Yeah,
I could
I
say
guess so.
very easily.
I mean, Steve Dahl's my mentor. So yeah.
My sister.
Oh yeah, your sister was on the show. Yes.
Huh. Oh, that's 12% of our new listeners. So
Yeah.
so
And
that's probably it. It was probably her mailing list.
She's the sane member. Yeah.
Well, we got
Electable. She was
we
electable. Yeah.
we can probably get her back.
I would hope so. She was very nice. She was very nice. So
The special holiday episode of you, if you guys in Michigan, you could be in the same room.
there you go.
Huh.
Chris is really lobbying for that. Not going to fly, but it's good.
Obviously, the U.S. was our top country. Can you guess?
Yeah.
This is always the fun part. Can you guess where else people are listening?
Mexico.
98% is in the U.S. So I mean, let's be.
I'm going to say,
Not big.
well, Tucker Carlson, I just saw, said that there's absolute proof that the U.S. government has been keeping the fact that there are non-human beings out there in space. So I'm going to say Uranus.
I'm thinking Mexico or Norway.
What is the answer?
Germany, number 2.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. I forgot I have a friend. I forgot I have a friend there too.
there we go. You have relatives in Germany? Oh, okay, that's a good way to end it. Bruce
No,
Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap. And what are we doing again?
We are
we're going through
our Spotify Wrapped. So again,
okay.
just our numbers on Spotify, but we're talking about where the show is heard, what the top shows were.
Sure.
At least interesting to us. So we were talking about where else the show is heard, and Tim remembered he had a friend in Germany. That
I have a friend in Germany. Yeah.
Yeah.
Used to be my we used to do another podcast together. So until he moved to Germany. So
what's he doing in Germany now?
his wife is working for the government. His wife retired Air Force, and she's still working. She's doing
She at Ramstein.
She's doing media.
Oh, okay.
For the Air Force, I believe.
Okay.
So another guess on where else it's heard. It's a couple countries.
What?
Other countries that the podcast has heard.
Well, I'm still saying Norway and Mexico.
I'm going to say Israel because I'm so pro Jew. So where
we have at least one listener in Israel.
One
less than 1%.
I hope it's Netanyahu.
It does chart. And after that, if you guys forgot this from last year because it was an odd one, but the person has maintained, or people, it's only a percentile. But Philippines, do you remember that? Did somebody know somebody in the Philippines?
You know what? Yes, I did, and he died. So we probably won't show up next year. I actually, a cousin of mine was a real interesting guy, and he was in a hyperbaric chamber a lot.
Oh wow!
And he swam a lot, and he used to sell pianos back in Chicago decades ago.
So he was in a hyperbaric. He was in a hyperbaric chamber for recreation.
I think it was for health reasons. You know, he did that. He was. I think he was.
Did he live to like 100 then?
No, he did like dog sled stuff and everything. I remember telling my sister, and because we had these Zoom meetings with our cousins, and I remember telling my sister, I think I've lived the dullest life imaginable compared to cousin
Well,
Donnie.
you know what? If
Yeah.
he lives in the Philippines, I bet he could get on the Olympic sled dog team for the
No
Philippines.
question, he could have like a Jamaican bobsledder. I told you that I was in the Calgary Olympics in '88, stood on the side of the mountain and actually booed the Jamaican skiers because I could have done it better than they did. That was the year like Albert Tamba won the gold medal, and he whizzed by me in an 18th of a second. I barely saw him. The Jamaicans were like walking down, like crawling down the mountain, just so they didn't fall over. Yeah, that was a joke.
Or another question when it comes to demos. What do you think are male, female, or gender non-specific is our largest audience?
Yeah, right.
I'm guessing less than 1% gender non-specific.
I think the majority of ours are transitioning to the grave. But I'm not really sure.
The next question is age, but this is
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, they identify as breathing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my.
that's 78 male.
I've always been I was always on radio stations that were heavily male oriented. Although when I was on TV and I was doing the sports, I was basically doing sports for people who didn't care about sports, which are women. So I cover everything because
78. I was going to guess 75.
It's 75% men. Did you say
78?
78. It's high, 3% higher than I was going to guess.
Okay.
And what do you think the average age is? Although you kind of alluded to it earlier.
Well, since all of my cultural illusions, Dan Proft used to complain about this on WLS. He said, "I mean, do you have any references that happened after 1970
from this century? From this century? Anything
none from this century? None from this century."
Well, I'm guessing there's a box. There's always a box for blank and over, and it's like the last box.
Yeah, right.
And I don't know what that number is for that they gave you, but it's that and over.
60 is what it is. Yes,
60.
60%, 60 and over.
Yeah,
28.
That's kind of sad.
45 to 59, 28%.
Don't you want to think, Tim, that it's always that there's always these hot chicks that are watching this and
sure girls with grandpa issues.
Totally right.
Some young lass who never got enough $5 bills in her birthday card.
Right. And I can't believe they know what the Constitution of the United States says.
Looking for a guy that can pick up the dinner tab and pay with exact change.
And who will go to bed very early without asking for anything.
Keep that dream alive. There are 7 listeners,
absolutely.
35 and 44.
Wow.
So, and
that's it. 35. It's all 35 and up.
No, there's some 23 to 27.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
But we're there.
That's practically a statutory thing. I don't even want to get involved.
No, I'm
They should not be listening. Do you know that where was it I heard? They did some polling on these Palestinian protesters, the ones that are so pro-Hamas, and like an unbelievably high percentage thought that Yasser Arafat was the first prime minister of Israel. So, what actually though, I mean, there is some truth in that illusion because there was a point at which some people thought that Arafat was a secret Jew because he was trying to cut a deal. Of course, we all know he really didn't want one, but fine. Okay.
Well, he should be prime minister of Israel. If Israel hadn't stolen all that land, he would have been, right?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, the next guest, the people that listen to this podcast also listen to what other topics, and the general topics for podcasts are always, there's comedy, there's instructional.
Well, it's not comedy.
Right. I'm
sure,
going to say,
I'm sure it's politics.
I'm going to say Renaissance art, Latin,
theology.
Yeah, we're big on Thomas Aquinas.
Comedy.
True crime.
True crime. Yes, exactly.
Popular period. So I think anyone that listens to that is like their secondary thing, and that's tons of new true crime podcasts. So that
Well, that I think they listen to it because we do talk about Only Murders in the Building a lot, which is a TV show about true crime.
Well, I think the fact that anyone gave us a microphone is a true crime.
Oh gosh.
this one here.
I love this, this breakdown, this minutia about what we're doing.
So we should talk about crime more then. That's
Yeah.
we should definitely be like do murder
We
mysteries.
could have a
in that.
blotter. I mean, I used to be the editor of a community newspaper, and we would print the blotter. And of course, it's a community newspaper, so it's kind of like a waiting for Guffman, kind of thing. It's 20 cents was taken from Johnny's piggy bank or something.
Yeah, but those true crime things, it's not just
Yeah.
a police blotter. It's those are like unsolved,
Right.
very peculiar
We're gonna-
crimes.
We'll go
Yeah.
through the 70s learner newspapers and find some unsolved crimes so we can read.
I mean, it was just it was ridiculous. And and I get like somebody coming to the paper and saying, "Why did you print that?" I didn't need you didn't need it because it's it's like Andy of Mayberry. You don't tell about what's going on with your neighbor. There basically should be no newspaper. I get it.
I think that South Shore story from last week. I think that was pretty close to
Oh,
something
yeah.
that really didn't belong in a news.
I would say so.
on a news program. So I have a guy graduated with, chopped up his girlfriend, put her in a suitcase, and threw her in the river. So that's the kind of thing we should be talking more about.
Yeah, I don't think I could reconcile that with my maker. I made it this far already. I've got a lot of things to be sorry about during the shock jock era, even though I was just, ancillary to it. I wasn't one of the big stars. So I got enough that I got to deal with. I don't really want to start getting that lurid.
Maybe next Rosh Hashanah we'll do one.
Yeah,
right before.
Right. We'll do it on Rosh Hashanah, and then I can, ask for forgiveness 10 days later on Yom Kippur. There we go.
Yeah, you stepped on my joke. I said we can make that the special holiday episode.
Oh, okay.
So here's another positive one. Just in general growth for the year, 169%.
Woo.
Always good to hear that.
I love them when they get it down to like 3 digits like that. It sounds so official. It's great.
What's this one? Hold on.
That's
That was in streams, and then the increase in that was 169% more streams, 75% more followers.
169% more streams sounds like a pharmaceutical ad.
Yeah.
Like
I said, we're
for prostate problems.
I was going for a stream joke a little bit earlier. I think you refined it.
Over 60.
appreciate
That happens, right?
Yep, sure does.
All right.
That's a joke for our major demographic right there.
Oh, totally. Right.
And, this is a top 10 podcast for 43 of the fans. So you can start breaking down the math in your head on that. So 43 that listen were in the top 10 of the shows they listen to.
Wow.
Right.
I don't know about you, but I don't even listen to 10 podcasts, but I do listen to about 7 or 8.
As you know, I plagiarized from the commentary podcast. But what else I don't listen to any
then
other
again,
podcasts.
you look at our age demographic, and they don't probably listen to a lot of podcasts.
No, I mean they still think that the Wally Phillips is on the radio. How come I can't tune him in? Yeah. What's the matter?
The number 1 podcast for 10 fans.
Wow.
Great.
Good to be number 1 in anything.
Yeah.
And
Wow. Email us. We want to know who you 10 people
Right.
are. We want to.
Well, we
give
should
you a-
probably just have a lunch for all our
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
Podcast.
We could
Just
meet
have a
somewhere and
lunch.
give them
Yeah.
all a prize.
right.
and then the
Well,
last
that
Do
about
they
wraps-
rate? Do they rate the top 10 or is it just the most listened to for them?
Well, supposed to do. They probably. I mean, like you said, the people over 60 aren't listening to many, so they find it and they listen.
Right. So it's the most listened. So they didn't
Yeah.
actually say, "Hey, what's your favorite podcast?"
Well, we're
They
gonna
go every
hurt
week
next
and-
year because my cousin died, so it's gonna be tough. But I'm looking forward to next season. Bruce Wolf, Tim Slagle on the Weekly Wrap.
And that's the Weekly Wrap on radio and television. Follow Bruce at Bruce Wolf Shy on Twitter and Tim at timslagle.com. The Weekly Wrap with Bruce Wolf, a CP Pods production.